On the Indonesian island of Bali, a story of near extinction and incredible rebirth has unfolded, centered on a creature of breathtaking beauty. This is the story of the Bali Starling, a bird that was pushed to the very edge of existence, but was brought back by the profound power of community. It's a case study that shows how local people, using ancient traditions and a shared vision, can succeed where conventional conservation fails. This is the story of the Phoenix of Bali. The Bali Starling, known to science as Leucopsar rothschildi, is an avian jewel. Its plumage is a brilliant, almost ethereal white, starkly contrasted by black tips on its wings and tail. But the most striking feature is a featherless, bright blue mask of skin that encircles its eyes, giving it a mystical appearance. Unfortunately, this captivating beauty became its curse. The bird, known locally as Jalak Bali, is endemic to a very small, arid corner of northwestern Bali. It was never a widespread species. Its trusting nature and enchanting song made it an irresistible prize for the caged bird trade that swept through Indonesia in the mid-20th century. For many, owning a Bali starling was a status symbol, a living piece of art to be displayed. This demand fueled a relentless wave of poaching. The numbers paint a grim picture. In the early 1900s, the wild population was estimated to be between 300 and 900 birds. By the 1970s, fewer than 200 remained. The Indonesian government officially protected the species, but these measures did little to stop the illegal trafficking. The money was just too good. In the 1990s, a single pair of Bali starlings could sell for as much as $4.500 on the black market, a sum equal to several years' salary for a park ranger. This made it tragically easy to entice locals into poaching or to bribe officials. The decline was terrifyingly fast. By 1990, an estimated 15 birds were left in the wild. The absolute lowest point came in 2001, when the wild population was believed to have plummeted to just 6 individuals. The Bali starling, the island's only endemic vertebrate, after the Bali tiger went extinct, was about to sing its final song. The primary stronghold for the bird and the focus of early conservation efforts was the Bali Barat National Park. The park was established partly to protect the species, and it became a battleground for its survival. In the mid-1980s, a coalition of international and national groups launched a major effort to save the bird. Their strategy was a conventional, top-down approach. They set up a captive breeding program, ran public awareness campaigns, and increased patrols by park rangers. A key part of this strategy was the Tegal Bunder Breeding Center inside the park. Over 18 years, 218 captive-bred Bali starlings were released into the park. Hopes were high. However, the results were devastatingly disappointing. The wild population inside the park just kept falling. There were several reasons for this failure. Many of the released birds, raised in captivity, simply didn't have the skills to survive in the wild. They often stayed near the release sites, dependent on humans for food, which made them easy targets for poachers. The park's terrain was vast and difficult to patrol effectively, and the coastal trade routes nearby provided a ready-made network for smuggling the birds off the island. To make matters worse, the poachers were audacious. In one particularly brazen act, they stole 78 birds from a breeding center located inside the national park itself. It was a clear demonstration that the poachers could operate with impunity. It became painfully obvious that this top-down approach, while well-intentioned, was failing because it didn't address the root causes, the economic incentive for poaching, and the lack of real support from the local community. A different approach was desperately needed. The turning point came in the early 2000s, with a visionary idea from a Balinese veterinarian and conservationist named Dr. Igede Nyoman Bayu Wirayuda. As the founder of the Friends of the National Parks Foundation, or FNPF, Dr. Wirayuda understood a fundamental truth. He said conservation will not succeed if it's only about protecting animals. it must also protect the people who live alongside them. He proposed a radical shift in strategy. Instead of continuing the fight in the beleaguered Bali Barat National Park, he suggested establishing a new sanctuary for the Bali Starling on the neighboring island of Nusa Penida. This island offered a more manageable landscape and, crucially, a close-knit community that could become the birds' protectors. The FNPF team, led by Dr. Wirayuda, embarked on a mission to win the hearts and minds of the people of Nusa Penida. They didn't show up with a pre-packaged plan and a list of rules. Instead, they engaged in patient, respectful dialogue with the island's 35 traditional villages. They attended community gatherings, temple ceremonies, and even weddings, making the case for turning Nusa Penida into a bird sanctuary. Their message wasn't about prohibition. It was about shared purpose and mutual benefit. They offered help with reforestation, community development, and educational opportunities. In return, they asked for the community's commitment to protect the birds. The response was overwhelmingly positive. One by one, the villages pledged their support. In 2006, all 35 villages on Nusa Penida formally agreed to make their island a sanctuary for the Bali Starling. As one local leader explained, "All the people in our village are working together to secure this species. We plant fruit trees for the Bali Starling. This brings a positive impact to the villagers' economy from the visitors." Central to this incredible success was the integration of conservation into the very fabric of Balinese culture. Through a traditional legal system known as awig are customary laws, deeply rooted in the Hindu philosophy of Trihita Karana, which emphasizes harmony between humans and God, among humans, and between humans and their environment. These are not laws imposed by an outside government. They are created and enforced by the community itself. Because of this, they carry immense cultural and social weight. With the help of the FNPF, the villages of Nusa Penida wrote the protection of the Bali Starling directly into their awig. These traditional laws explicitly forbade the hunting, trapping, or keeping of the birds. The penalties for breaking these laws were not just financial. They were social and spiritual. A violator could face a steep fine of around $600, be required to perform community service, or even be forced to fund a village-wide ceremony to atone for their transgression. The social shame associated with breaking a community-sworn oath was an incredibly powerful deterrent. As Dr. Wirayuda explained, with these kinds of consequences, who would dare do that stupid thing? It will cost them so much. The impact of awig was transformative. A 2015 study found a nearly 200% improvement in anti-poaching compliance on Nusa Penida compared to the formal criminal law. The community became the guardians of the Bali Starling, their eyes and ears on the ground, providing constant stewardship in a way that under-resourced government agencies never could. But this wasn't just about enforcing rules. To be truly sustainable, conservation had to provide real economic benefits. As the Bali Starling population on Nusa Penida began to recover, the island started to attract a new kind of visitor, the eco-tourist. Birdwatching groups, and even National Geographic expeditions, came to witness the comeback of one of the world's rarest birds. This influx of tourism created a new local economy. Former poachers, who had intimate knowledge of the forest and the birds' habits, were retrained as bird guides. Villages developed shade-grown coffee plantations with bird-watching platforms, and local families opened their homes as guest houses. The transformation was profound. People who once saw the Bali Starling as a commodity to be captured and sold, now saw it as a valuable asset to be protected. Their livelihoods became directly linked to the survival of the bird. The community essentially became a self-regulating system, where people were paid to patrol forests and protect birds, rather than catch them to earn an income. The resounding success on Nusa Penida didn't go unnoticed. The model of community-driven conservation, rooted in traditional law and providing economic incentives, began to spread to mainland Bali. In 2018, the village of Melingi Kelad adopted its own awig to protect the Bali Starling. Soon, a string of Bali Starling villages emerged across the island. In these villages, the starling has been embraced as a source of both cultural pride and economic opportunity. Organizations like the Begawan Foundation initiated programs where villagers can breed Bali starlings for release, holding them accountable for the bird's safety in the wild. This works within the Balinese tradition of keeping a caged bird, but encourages villagers to also appreciate and protect birds in their natural environment. Education has also been a cornerstone. The Begawan Foundation developed a 10-week conservation course for schools, using the Bali starling as a focal point to teach thousands of students about environmental preservation, ensuring the conservation ethic is passed down to the next generation. So what are the results of all this? They are nothing short of remarkable. From that desperate low of just 6 individuals in the wild in 2001, the Bali starling population has made a stunning comeback. In 2006, 64 captive-bred birds were released on Nusa Penida. By 2009, their numbers had grown to over 100. A 2021 survey estimated the wild population in Bali Barat National Park to be around 420 individuals, with another 100 on Nusa Penida. And while a 2024 report showed a slight dip, the overall trend is one of significant, undeniable recovery. The birds on Nusa Penida have been observed breeding up to 3 times a year, thanks to the reduced poaching and abundant food. The story of the Bali starling is a powerful reminder that the most effective conservation strategies are often those developed and driven by the people who have the most at stake. It's a story of how traditional knowledge and cultural values can be harnessed to solve modern environmental crises. The flight of the Bali starling, once a rare and fleeting sight, is now a symbol of a community's enduring commitment to its natural heritage. It is a phoenix, risen from the ashes, its song a melody of hope for a more sustainable future.